Okay, a couple key things with the Schluter membrane system. You'll see that this is applied directly over a drywall substrate. We had to replace all of these pieces here because we pulled a contractor fiberglass shower out of this stall, and we're putting a tiled system in. Couple of pro tips. You want to float the rock out first. Using a little bit of sheetrock mortar, joint compound. If you see right here, I got a little bit of a hump, and I can get that out with the thin set, but it's just a lot easier to go ahead and, I mean, all the rest of them came out okay. I just must have missed this one, and now I'm gonna have to float that out with thin set. So go ahead. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to sand it down and finish it, but go ahead and float it out the best that you can. Flatten the substrate wall out underneath where the membrane is gonna go, and go ahead and just get it sorted out and then stick the membrane to that. And that way you don't have to try to float it out with the thin set and then when you're sticking your tile. One other tip is with the floor. You can see I put in a piece of 6-inch, I think is 6-inch PVC drain pipe, and I created a form around the little 2-inch. So you'll see that little 2-inch down in there. And then there's the it might be a 5-inch, but I think it's a 6-inch piece of PVC around it. And then I leveled the ground, because you're gonna wanna level it before you stick your sloped floor, the pre-sloped floor. But you need to create a little bit of a form there so you can fill up the hole around the pipe. Typically there's a little formed, like a piece of plastic, sometimes it's a piece of wood, around the drain pipe for the shower. And you need to fill that up so it can support the pre-sloped shower floor from Schluter. So there's a couple of videos on that show you how to do this. It's pretty cool. But if you just stick something around it, you can even use a jug. I've used like a plastic jug it was like a gallon jug that had, I don't know, cleaner or something in it. I cut the top of it off, stuck it around it, got it down in the ground and made sure it was gonna cover it up. And then boom, you got a little bit of a form. You pour your leveler, put the tack down, put the leveler down, try and smooth it out better than what I have done here, because I didn't do a very good job, obviously. And then you can put your floor down. I like to wait to put the floor down. I stick all the walls. I'll stick the walls first because I'm big, I'm very heavy. I'm about 290 pounds, 6.5 feet tall. So when I'm kneeling down on that foam and it doesn't have any tile on it, it can create holes, and then I've got to float the holes out before I stick the floor down, before I stick the drain. So I stick the walls, put the floor, put the pre-slip foam floor down, waterproof everything, do the band around the bottom seam, take some Kerdi fix any holes that I might have. Just make sure it's sealed up really good. Just following manufacturer's instruction. And then I'll put it down, set the drain, put the membrane, this little piece right here, this little donut, put that over the drain, seal it all up. And then I'll set the drain, put the floor down, and when I have the floor in, I'll go back and just fill underneath where my ledger was. It'll probably be half a piece of the tile, or depending on what tile you're putting on. I'll go in and just fill in around and then grout the whole thing, done deal. I like to do it this way specifically because I'm large. I don't want to be on top of it. I don't want to put the floor down, then put the tile down first and then stand on that. I'd like to be in there on the finished shower floor as little as possible. So I stick the walls first, and then I'll come in, put the pre-slope down, put the flooring in. And that's a done deal. But everything you need comes in the shower kit. This is a 48-inch by 48-inch shower kit. All of these this came with the drain. These little guys right here, they came with it. Go around your valve, these little deals here. You've got some band that comes with it, and then the drain kit, which is typically sold separately. You have the drain. You've got the form with the different height adapters. And then you get these little corner pieces. And this last little bit is what I'll do right as I set the floor, and I'm going in to seal the rest of it, put the band on and everything. That's the last thing that I'll do right before I put the floor in, before I put the tile in, and then fill up underneath where my ledger is. Couple of ways you can put the membrane on. If you go and you overlap 4 to 5 inches, is whatever the manufacturer's recommendation is. You overlap it, you don't have to band or Kerdi band the seams. So that's what we've done here, and we put a little Band-Aid right there just to be double sure that we weren't gonna have any issues right there. We just used a piece of membrane to cover that up. And I'll probably also use one of those preformed curb adapter deals to go over that as well. And typically, manufacturer recommends that you set this curb once you've put the floor in. You put your floor down, your pre-slip floor in, and then you thin set the curb to the floor. I'm gonna do that, except I used it as a form. I put the curb in, leveled it out, thin set it to the ground, and then I poured that leveler in there so I could have a little bit better substrate to thin set the pre-slip floor down to. So a couple of different ways you can do it. As long as you get some thin set in between that curb and the floor, and then you get good coverage across the back of the pre-slip floor, you're totally fine. And then you're also gonna go around and band everything anyway, so it's gonna be totally good. And it's lifetime manufacturer's warranty, man. You can't beat that. You gotta do this. If you're doing anything else, stop it, do this. This is the way.